Never know for me. Woo! What's up, YouTube? Chef Sawyer coming back at you. Welcome to the Chef Sawyer Sundays. Today they're calling me Storm Chasing Sawyer because I'm bringing you guys this video through a hurricane. That's right, I'm in Central Florida. We're about to get smacked, but that's how dedicated I am to this. So guys, go ahead and leave a like for the dedication because I'm potentially risking my life just so I can put out this last video, okay? Very special video, very special day. We're making a Chef Sawyer original crab Rangoon egg roll. That's right, your favorite Chinese appetizer in an egg roll form. We're about to get lit. Let's get to it. All right, guys. Okay, everybody. Listen here, folks. In our crab Rangoon, that's right, we got some fresh crab. I got some king crab and some snow crab because there's no better product. And boom, of course you need the egg roll wrappers for your egg rolls, okay? Cream cheese, the crab Rangoon binder. I got some garlic here, right? We're gonna make a really nice dipping sauce for it, a sweet and spicy pepper jam. So I have some multicolored bell peppers. I have some jalapenos for the heat. Let's get started. The first thing you're gonna wanna start on is your sauce, because that takes the longest. So here's how we're gonna break down our bell peppers. Ready? Bottom off, okay? You don't wanna waste that, let's save it. Top off. And now I'm gonna find where my ribs are on the inside, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert my knife to completely remove the first rib. Boom. So now you can see I have my section of red pepper that I cut with just a little bit of rib left. You can go ahead and take it off like that, and then we're gonna roll it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my knife flat. I'm gonna find the next rib, and I'm just gonna slice forward while I roll the pepper down. And then I have my next rib set up flat for me. Boom. And come clean out. There's the rib cage and all the seeds in one clean swoop. And here you have all of the flesh with none of that white part left that you don't want. So boom, easy, perfect, breezy, beautiful cover girl. So I'm gonna come back and I'm just gonna cut down in a square around it. That's all usable, all right? This is trash. Let me show you guys how easy that is again. You're gonna come into the bottom, boom. Come into the top. I'm gonna find my rib. I'm gonna insert my knife there while I slice down, and then just lay it flat and roll it out gently and carefully. Dunzo. If you guys like spicy, this will be one of the best sauces you've ever had in your whole life. Multi-purpose, okay? So get out your notepads. We're gonna go in a small dice. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make julienne cuts very thin. Turn the whole stack sideways, and I'm gonna go ahead and come back this way. And boom, good enough for us. All right, so the flesh is much easier to deal with than the top and bottom. We're just making the most of our ingredients. So when you guys have the nice big pieces of pepper like this, we're gonna go ahead and put it into a manageable size piece, something you feel comfortable working with, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and right down the line. Small little strips that you want to just look like that. I go ahead, I turn the stack sideways, and boom. This is called a brunoise, and this is the perfect shape we're dealing with. You guys do not need to have perfect cuts. All you need to have is a small size of pepper. They don't need to be uniform or anything because we're gonna go ahead and cook this down for a little while. That's exactly what you wanna see. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat this process for all the peppers. Okay, folks. So once you got all your peppers nice and diced, okay, it's time to go ahead and work on the jalapenos. You're gonna wanna change how many you're using depending on how much you like spice. I think 3 for this batch of a couple bell peppers. It's about moderate level. Not too spicy, not too mild. We're gonna go ahead and take the stems off We're gonna half the jalapeno, and then you might remember from my jalapeno popper grilled cheese episode, take our spoon, run it on the inside, and scoop out all the seeds and all the ribs. Perfect. Give it that good old scrapey scrape, okay? Once we have our jalapeno halves, we're gonna do the same thing we did to the bell peppers. I'm gonna take a half, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it into strips. I can save some time and do more than one half at a time. I'll make a little pile here of my julienne strips. Here's what we do. We turn it all sideways, the whole pile, and we just come down the line to get our small dice. All right, that's looking good. The last thing we're gonna need for our sauce as far as vegetables go is onion and garlic. So I'm gonna go ahead and half our onion, and it's gonna get the same treatment as the peppers. Just small dice. You don't gotta be super precise with it or anything. I'll cut it all down, and now I'll just come back through and I'll give it a rough chop, but I'll throw this garlic in there too because I want the garlic to be rough chopped. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go at it until it's all a nice size. This is what we call a rough chop. You throw it all into a pile, you go ahead and hit it with that choppy chop, and then you push it back and you repeat. The rough chop is not a precise method, but it is efficient. We're almost there. All right, that's looking pretty good to me. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take all of our peppers, our jalapenos, our tricolored bell peppers, and then we're gonna take all of our onions and garlic, and we're gonna put it into a pan together. Now guys, it looks like a lot, but all the moisture will cook out. It's gonna reduce down, and you're not gonna be left with as much as you want, because as soon as you taste this, you're gonna want about a gallon of this sauce. We're gonna put it on a medium heat. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of water to it. I'm gonna add some white vinegar. The vinegar is important because it will add a nice sharp acid flavor to the dish. S&P. A splash of olive oil, red pepper flakes, just to enforce the heat levels, okay? This is a sweet and spicy dish. So we have a couple forms of spicy with the pepper flakes and the jalapeno, and now we're gonna come in with the sweet, okay? We gotta add our sugar to it. This is white sugar. You can use brown sugar, you can use honey, you can use whatever you want, but you're gonna want a good bit of it, okay? Might as well just add the whole container of sugar. And now you're gonna mix it, and on a medium heat, you're just gonna let everything slowly combine, and it's gonna turn into this nice thick sauce. And as soon as this starts cooking, we're gonna come by, we're gonna taste it and check on the salt levels, on the sugar levels, and we will adjust accordingly. And as well as the amount of white vinegar I added, I'm just gonna add a splash of apple cider vinegar for a little more sweetness. That apple flavor really complements the sweet and the sour very well. It's time to break down some crab. And what you're gonna need is a nice heavy knife, maybe a cleaver or something like that, and also a good pair of kitchen shears works amazingly. And the king crab and the snow crab are both great. You can't go wrong with either. I prefer the king crab. Of course, everybody's gonna like the king crab more, but it's also 5 times the cost, which is why we got a little bit of both, okay? You get the best of both worlds, like Hannah Montana. I'm gonna break it down into manageable sections. So just hold it at the joint and snap it gently, okay? Pretty much you're gonna wanna break it at every joint. And now we're gonna work as much meat out of here as we can. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my kitchen shears, I'm gonna insert them in the open part, and I'm gonna slowly work those scissors up to the top, to the point that I go all the way through, top to bottom. And now I can just peel this back and reveal some nice large chunks of king crab. And this is gonna be so good in our crab Rangoon egg rolls. And now I'm just gonna go through, taking every knuckle, every segment, every piece, and extracting as much meat as I can. Your crab is expensive. You do not want any meat to go to waste. We love these big chunks. This is why we love king crab, okay? And this is also why it's the most expensive. Not only is the flavor superior, no other crab will yield you pieces of meat this big. This is why we use the king crab. I can absolutely recommend putting on a nice pair of gloves for this task. You guys might want to be careful. Crab, especially the king crab, is very spiny. It can hurt when you're gripping this, okay? Now if you have rough hands, it's no problem at all to just freestyle on it, okay? Everybody should have these in their kitchen. They're a very versatile tool, useful for many things. But if all you have lying around home is a chef's knife, I don't like to damage my edge. Some people go in edge first. I'll turn it around. I'll use the spine of my knife because this is more durable, okay? So I'm gonna take it right to the middle and give it a good whack. And just like that, I got the shell open and I can still peel out big pieces of meat, no problem. Well guys, getting in every single nook and cranny of this crab is gonna take me a while, so I'm gonna get to work and I'll see you guys back here in a minute.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness if you wanna play tough.
Every night in my dreams, I see you. I feel you.
I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**.
Welcome back. Our sauce is looking good. It's nice and reducing. It still needs to reduce more. You want to get rid of almost all this liquid. And everybody, do not underestimate how much sugar this needs. This is going to be a sweet and a spicy glaze. And with how much spicy we added to it, you are going to need a hefty amount of sugar. It's almost like a jam that you're going to just add sugar until it thickens up and gets nice and gel-like. So we're just going to go ahead and enhance the flavor now. And what we're going to do with that is a couple little squeezes of some soy sauce and a couple drops of sesame oil. Guys, this stuff is not like olive oil. You do not want to be heavy-handed with the sesame oil. You will ruin your whole entire recipe, I promise. A couple drops goes a very, very, very long way. So with the addition of the sesame oil and the soy sauce, it's an easy, quick, great way to make any of your dishes a little more Asian inspired. Here we are with our giant bowl of crab meat. How can you hate that? We got big pieces, we got small pieces, we got all kinds of pieces. Now I'm just gonna give this a light toss with a spoon. I'm not really gonna come in and chop it up or anything like that because the big chunks are good. But when you mix it around, if you got strands that are this long, it's all right to go ahead and cut those in thirds or so. So crab rangoon is essentially a cream cheese and crab mixture inside of a wonton wrapper, fried crispy. And I'm just gonna tell you guys flat out, when you go to restaurants, they don't include crab in their recipe. If they're adding any crab at all, it's fake crab with a K. That's right. It's going to be imitation crab meat made from pollock or haddock or some sort of white fish flavored with natural crab flavoring. That's what makes this recipe superior. You're going the extra mile, you're putting in the extra effort, and you're getting that extra flavor that will have your friends saying, "Oh my God, how did you make that?" Into our big bowl of crab meat. One package of Philadelphia's finest cream cheese, okay? Not the regular Philadelphia's finest. I've been having my cream cheese sit out at room temperature for a little while, so it's softened. I just want to make sure I get every last ounce. This stuff is like creamy gold. What's coming up next? Green onion, okay? We don't need a whole lot. It's a pretty big one, but you just need a little bit of allium in there. And the allium is going to be anything in the onion family. So shallots, onions, garlic, these are all alliums. They all provide just about the same thing to a dish. I'm gonna fine chop this because you don't want big chunky pieces of raw green onion. We're gonna fry this for about 2 to 3 minutes, and that's the most cooking that it's gonna see. So as thin as possible is better. Our green onion is nice and chopped. Now we're just gonna go ahead and throw some garlic in the mix. We'll put it all together, give it a rough chop and get these pieces fine. Since they won't be cooking for a very long time, you want these in fine pieces. We're gonna go ahead and scoop that up and add it to our crab and cream cheese mixture. Everything gets some salt and pepper. Just enough to season it. A beautiful little splash of some Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Not a lot. You don't want a sweet filling, but you do want a little bit of sugar, because just like the salt, a little bit of white sugar is going to help bring out a great flavor from the crab. And now I'm just going to take my spoon and I'm just going to go ahead and incorporate everything together with some gentle mixing and folding. I'm not down talking anybody who likes their fake imitation crab meat. It has its places sometimes, but I don't like to purchase something marketed as a crab Rangoon that contains little crab, no crab, or imitation crab. Sometimes I order them and it's just cream cheese and seasoning, and that's why I like to go out of my way. I like to make it myself, because when I make it at home, I have absolutely nothing but fresh, 100% crab meat. King crab, snow crab. I mean, how can you complain when you get a bite like that? So we're getting ready to go ahead and roll this up and fry it crispy. I'm just gonna give it a taste for seasoning. Amazing, okay? Not too sweet, a little salty. You definitely get the onions and the garlic coming through. If it tastes good when you eat just this mixture, it's gonna taste 1,000 times better when you fry it crispy and serve it with your sweet and spicy pepper sauce. Guys, these bubbles on top is a great sign, because it's just gonna show you that your sauce is reducing and getting exactly where you want it to be, nice and thick and syrupy. Here we have our amazing crab mixture. We're about to go ahead and roll this up. First, what we need is an egg. I'll crack it into this ramekin, and now I'm just gonna throw a splash of water in there, and then we're gonna go ahead and beat the egg. First, let me show you guys the traditional crab Rangoon. I know most of you love this dish. You take a small little dollop of the mixture. Now, these restaurants avoid giving you any decent portion. They'll give you a small little dollop, and then they'll go ahead and they'll bring all the points up. Just like this. This is your traditional crab Rangoon. And here's why I hate it. Because you have all this wrapper, it's just a crunchy bunch of nothing with hardly any filling in there, okay? Let me show you why the egg roll is superior. We're gonna do twice, 3 times, 4 times the amount of filling that the traditional one has. We're gonna dip our fingers in the egg wash and just paint the top a little bit. We're gonna paint the corners, the bottom and the sides with our egg wash, so that'll help it stick. Roll it. We're gonna tuck the top side down, the top corner, and we're gonna pull backwards, kind of like a burrito. And then both the sides are gonna get folded in, and then we're gonna roll it. A little extra egg wash for love, and boom. There's the Chef Sawyer Crab Rangoon egg roll. And this is nothing but filling. There's no fake crab meat here. There's no too much wrapper, not enough filling. I'm telling you guys, this is what you absolutely want to eat. You'll never ever have anybody complaining that there wasn't enough crab in your egg roll, that the portion left them unsatisfied. This is the best appetizer ever, Sawyer sized, okay? That's how it should all be. Fold in the sides, tuck it, and roll it. Boom. Chef Sawyer Crab Rangoon egg rolls coming at you. Our pepper jam is looking great. Our oil's heated up. So let's go ahead and we'll drop a couple in at a time, not too many. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. And these are gonna fry for about 2 to 3 minutes, or until they're golden brown and crispy. You're gonna pull them out of the oil and put them on a plate lined with a paper towel. All right, here's our golden brown egg rolls coming out of the fryer. They're looking excellent, if I do say so myself. Hold that that's gonna be good. Out of every video I've ever made, this is the recipe you guys wanna make, okay? We can see our pepper jam is thick, syrupy. I can separate it, and it comes back slowly. This is exactly what we want it to be like. Hot, spicy, sweet, vinegary, the perfect sauce. You can put this on salmon, on pork, on chicken, vegetables. Are you ready?
Ooh.
Here we have our finished crab Rangoon egg rolls and our sweet and spicy pepper jam. This stuff is a great compliment to not only the crab Rangoon but to everything. And I'll show you guys why Sawyer's egg rolls are far superior to the traditional crab Rangoon. Let's go ahead and check out the inside of one. Diagonal cut. And oh my gosh. It's so good, it looks fake. You guys might think this isn't real. Nothing but big, giant chunks of snow crab and king crab. So we're gonna go ahead, take our crab Rangoon egg roll. Look at that, you can't beat that. Massive amounts of filling. Going in with our sweet and spicy pepper sauce. You can dip it, dunk it, scoop it, slurp it. Whatever your favorite way to apply it is, do it. Oh my goodness. If I went out to a restaurant and they gave me a plate of 6 egg rolls looking like this, I would say, what do I owe you guys? $500? That was the best food I've ever had. So go ahead and give this video a like, a comment, subscribe. Thanks for coming, guys. Make this recipe and let me know how you like it, all right? Mwah. I love you all. Cut.